Good evening. Senator Joe Lieberman has dedicated his life to public service in a variety of roles over 35 years. He served in the Connecticut State Senate, 6 years as Majority Leader. He was Connecticut's Attorney General and now one of its United States Senators. In that role, he is credited with spearheading the legislative development of the Department of Homeland Security. Senator Lieberman is also a strong advocate of pro-growth economic policies, investing in our public schools, campaign finance reform, and protecting the environment. He is perhaps best known as the Democratic candidate for vice president in 2000. But more than that, and I think this is something my father at least hoped to relate to, he's a national leader who works across party lines to find common ground. He speaks his conscience, and he gets things done for Connecticut and for the nation. Please turn your attention to the monitors for more on Senator Lieberman.
The American Institute is pleased to present the U.S. Senator John Heinz Award for Greatest Public Service by an elected official or appointed official is given to Senator Joseph Lieberman. For decades, Senator Lieberman has been a thoughtful, principled voice for justice, reform, and a stronger United States of America. Elected to the U.S. Senate in 1988 from the state of Connecticut, his name is synonymous with extraordinary public leadership and service on a wide range of issues. In the wake of September 11, 2001, he was an influential voice on security issues and a leading champion of legislation creating the Department of Homeland Security. As a ranking member and former chairman of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, he has worked tirelessly to better protect the nation from terrorist attacks. In the 2000 election, he was the Democratic candidate for vice president. In that national spotlight, Americans learned what many in Congress have known about Joe Lieberman, that he is a national leader who works across party lines to find a common ground, a man who speaks his conscience and whose commitment to public service comes first. That commitment has motivated him to champion the rights of the ordinary investor and consumer, as well as economic policies that spark business growth. He has been a strong advocate for investing in our public schools and reforming campaign finance laws. In 1990, he co-sponsored the landmark Clean Air Act and continues to press for responsible government action on major environmental issues, including global warming. And in 2005, he co-sponsored the Family Entertainment Protection Act, designed to protect children from inappropriate content found in video games. Responsibility, opportunity, community. Old-fashioned American values. Thanks to Senator Joseph Lieberman, they are values that continue to define who we are as a nation. The Jefferson Awards is proud to salute him.
Please join me in welcoming Senator Joe Lieberman.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. You would have to be me to know how much that means to me. First, to be given an award for something that I love to do, that I feel fortunate, indeed blessed to have the opportunity to do, which is to be involved in public service. Second, to receive the award from Chris Heinz in the name of his father, my former colleague, Senator John Heinz. John Heinz was a great human being and a great United States Senator. Those two don't always go together, but he was both. He was a person of honor who was a member of the Republican Party and a proud member of it, but always put the national interest first. He was a great innovator and always looked for opportunities to work across party lines to get things done. Some of the early work that he did with his Democratic colleague and friend Tim Wirth gave birth to, on environmental matters, gave birth really to a generation of effective environmental legislation. So Chris Hines, God bless the memory of your father. Thank you for giving me that award. Let me thank all of you who have supported the Jefferson Awards, and particularly to thank Sam Beard. Now, Sam and I met in the year when we were both running for the United States Senate. I won the election, and Sam went on to actually do some good things for America through these Jefferson Awards. This is a guy who believes in our country, who understands its mission, who knows that government cannot do it all, as much as we need public servants and want to honor them and encourage them, that we need volunteers. And what I love about him is what I would describe as his contagious and classically American optimism. So, Sam Beard, thank you very much for all that you do for our country. Very often people say to me, how did you get into this? What brought you to public service? And thinking about it, there's no question that the religious education I got early in my life, to feel blessed to be alive and feel a responsibility to give back, to try to make the world better in whatever way I could, was part of it. Part of it came from my immigrant grandparents, who gave me another dimension of feeling fortunate, which it was to say that I was blessed to be an American, and that in any way I could, I should try to give back to this great country that had given so many millions, including my family, opportunities, freedom that we never would have had if my grandparents stayed where they were before they came here. Part of it was, like Sam, we are children of the President John F. Kennedy generation. We were inspired by his call to serve our country, to ask not what our country could do for us, but what we could do for our country. I would say that if you ask me in my life what is the single transformative public address I ever heard, it was the Kennedy inaugural in January of 1961. But there's a fourth factor that I think is relevant to the awards this evening and the people that I'm honored to share this evening with as award recipients, and that is the example of my parents. They were not at all political, though my dad had an interest in public life and public events. But they were both volunteers in community service organizations. They both helped in those small ways that tens of millions of Americans have helped to make this country better. And I think ultimately it was that example and the Kennedy call to service that put me on the road to public service and all the extraordinary opportunities that I have had. I want to thank the volunteers who are filling this magnificent room tonight for all that you do. As a United States Senator, I believe in the role of government in making this not just a safer but a better and more decent country. But I know that ultimately government simply cannot do it all. To be what our founders hoped we would be requires the service of volunteers who, in ways large and small, make this the country that we all want it to be. So I tip my hat to all of you who are involved in volunteer service. I don't know of another country in the world where there's anywhere near the degree of volunteerism that there is in the United States of America. It's part of what makes us the community of hope and progress that we are. I accept the award finally in this spirit. It is the spirit that I think our founders had when they said in our Declaration of Independence that there was a self-evident truth that all of us were created equal and we were endowed by our Creator with those rights to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. That was the reason that they were creating the government. But we all know that that was a statement of aspiration, if you will, a roadmap, because at the time that they wrote the Declaration, people of color weren't even counted equal with white people. Women had few, if any, real legal rights. And America has been a journey in each succeeding generation to realize more fully the aspirations that our founders expressed in the Declaration of Independence. As you look back at American history, yes, we have stumbled sometimes, yes, we have fallen sometimes we have failed, but we always manage to find within ourselves and within our country what I will happily describe tonight as Sam Beard optimism and an understanding of the unique mission we have as Americans and the unprecedented, unequaled opportunity we have as Americans to make the future better. I will tell you that I'm so troubled by the public opinion polls that say today, when you ask people, is America headed in the right direction or the wrong direction, how many say America is headed in the wrong direction. I don't believe that. But if it is true, the reality is it's up to us, we the people, as public servants and as volunteers, to pull together to put our communities and our country first and get us back in the right direction. I accept this award with a great deal of gratitude, but I know that these awards are not only recognition for what one has been lucky enough to do up until this night, but a kind of order from the commander over here to keep on doing it. And with you, particularly you volunteers, I commit myself in your presence to do that with the faith and confidence, because of you, that for this beloved country of ours, the best is definitely yet to come. Thank you very, very much.